so that you can connect the two, the audio and the video.
Because if you just start talking, it's a lot harder.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the House of I podcast. It's been a second since we've been recording. Before we start, I would like to say that we have social media. So we have Instagram and Facebook at House of I if you want to follow us on that. And I recommend you do because we post things a lot more frequently there. Also, we have our album, Alienation, and our 2 EPs, Peace Walker and the self-titled EP, House of I, on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, Deezer, Google Play, all that stuff.
Pornhub, it's on there too.
Tell them to start paying you for talking about them.
Yeah, that. And then also, I would recommend following us on those platforms as well because we are in the process of releasing new music. So, we are joined by my mother today to talk about some of the recent things that happened, because she's an expert on
things that happen.
Things that happen. So I think we this is the second time we're doing this, by the way. So we're gonna be repeating a lot of things, but regardless, so the last time that we were on, I think we mentioned that Kenny was coming over to record some music with us. We did record some music, but we also had some sad news, and that sad news is that Kenny will no longer be a part of House of I. He basically decided that he no longer wants to do this anymore, and wants to move on and do his own thing. So first, obviously, like there's no hard feelings besides the fact that I kind of hate him now, but. No, we
do not hate him.
No, I don't.
We know that.
No, we wish him the best, and we hope all the success in the world to him, and I know he feels the same for us. So no hard feelings. There's obviously a little bit of sadness because he was kind of like my partner in crime in terms of songwriting. But it is what it is, and Ellie and Emmett are on board with moving forward with House of I, so that's not stopping. And we are gonna be releasing basically the last recordings that we did together pretty soon in the coming months. So look forward to that, and then that's it. I know my mom was kind of like. You were saying a story about Kenny, about meeting him for the first time. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, well, first I want to go back to the whole music thing because, House of I, obviously, it has amazing music, and it really has been a collaboration for everybody in the band and the team. And the music that Kenny has created, it's part of the essence of the band, and that's something that will continue, and hopefully even he could write for the band. So, definitely he will be missed. But I wanted to mention, I met Kenny, probably he was 13 or 14. And I remember the first time I met him, Danny was hanging out outside of the house. We had this basketball rim, and they would play every afternoon and have competitions. And all of a sudden, I see this guy that shows up. Guy, right? He's like 13 or 14, young. But I think he had a beard. I remember that. I'm like,
beard?
He looked older.
A beard or a beard?
A beard. Like
okay,
a beard,
facial
right?
hair.
Facial
Not
hair.
alcohol.
Yeah, I was like,
no, a beard. No. And I'm like, okay, who's this kid? And he came in his bike, and he was playing and very competitive. And well, Danny's super competitive, but it was fun to watch. And I kept on thinking, well, where does he come from? Because he just didn't fit the mold, right? He didn't fit the mold. His clothes were a little bit out there, a little raggedy, and he just didn't care about his hair. And he looked older.
And he's still like that.
And he kind of, right? He's still like that. But they connected, He really became part of our family. And I mean, pretty much every weekend, Kenny will be over playing hoops, arguing with Danny. Danny will be arguing, but Kenny doesn't really get too much, but very quiet and very polite. And then they kind of move on into this whole music thing, and it really, we're really gonna miss him because he really has an amazing talent, and he's the way that he expresses himself through music, and you can really see that it's such a big part of his life, and it really made a big difference, I think, for
Yeah.
for Danny and for Elizabeth. But
It's just interesting because of how different Danny and Kenny write music.
yeah,
That's like the biggest thing.
very different music, personalities, likes, and it's a bit of a genius also in his knowledge, and just one of these odd persons that I know he's gonna do great things, and I know he's gonna do great things in music. Perhaps you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe another. Life has a way of playing tricks on you, and I think it is a progression. It's a progression of the band, progression. It happens, and I'll tell you, you guys see yourself being lucky that how many years you played together.
About 10 years.
I mean, that in itself, you don't see that
lot.
very often anymore.
No.
So yeah,
No, I mean that's what that's what makes it. I feel like the most hard is because we've been doing it for so long together that I really feel like this is possible. I feel like we are going to make this a career, make this a living, and I know that Kenny. It's not like Kenny was thinking this is not possible. I know it's just literally he has other aspirations and he wants to do other things. So I understand that, and he truly feels like he can't do both, which I get it. I totally understand. He wants to focus completely on science and what he's doing in that regard.
Yeah.
So I get that. But it is, it's difficult because I guess, I would have liked, or rather, I thought that we both had the same kind of drive and motivation to, like, this is kind of like, this is all I want to do, right? And then to kind of find out that the person that I feel like used to have that same feeling now doesn't. It's kind of like a breakup, like a amicable breakup, but it is that sort of, and that's that kind of hurts because it is going to be different, and I've always had this vision of the four of us doing it together. I mean, I got to say, like, the last two tours that we've done.
By the way, not me, not
No, the
part of
band,
that.
the band.
Playing the
Not me.
banjo now.
No, the band.
The
and,
band.
I had visions of us touring the country together and doing, like hitting all these milestones together. So it's a little, I can't lie and say I'm not. It doesn't make me sad. It does make me sad, but I'm not. I know that we can still do all these things, and it's. I think the other thing too is, like, it will be difficult to move on, and it's going to be a shift in sound as well. We're for now it's going to be mainly me, right, writing songs and stuff like that. So it's going to challenge me as a songwriter to basically try and write different things that I'm used to, and we do have intentions of bringing another person aboard to help with this stuff, because I feel like as a 3-piece it just doesn't really express the kind of sound that I envisioned for this band. So that'll be a process as well, which is difficult. I mean, it's going to be finding someone that works well with us musically, right? Then it's going to be someone that is more helpful, and someone
Dedicated.
and someone that's someone that's 100% dedicated.
Yeah, I think that it's fair, the reasoning behind why he's doing what he's doing, because it's like, I don't think people realize how much time this actually takes. If you mean to make this a career, the amount of hours you have to put into it, a week is essentially another job. You know what I mean? Editing stuff, mixing, recording takes forever. So it's like, it is a lot. So if you're looking to do something else that also consumes a lot of time. It's just hard to keep up with both things. It'll be interesting to see what this does to the music. It's going to be interesting to see who it is that joins the band, because, of course, it's, it's going to dictate a lot moving forward, whoever that person is,
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but like you mentioned, we are still going to release what we did, which is a good amount, I think.
Yeah,
and
it's about 8 to 9 songs
yeah,
worth of material.
yeah, possibly 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're still
That's
going to
a lot.
release all that stuff, and it's still, stuff he wrote, and it's interesting. It's interesting stuff. It's different, I feel like, than the set of songs that we released already. It was a glimpse into what was going to happen, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, and that's
If he
the
had
other thing
stayed.
too is, it when you start to find a sound, and I feel like we have found like a good balance between everybody. Now we're kind of throwing a wrench in that machine, and it's going to be starting brand new. So I don't think the sound is going to change drastically, but it will probably change from a songwriter's perspective, because now we don't have his input. And Kenny typically wrote songs a certain way. They tended to be more catchy.
Yeah,
for
but
example.
even if the other person comes in as a songwriter, it's not Kenny, so it's still going to be different.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I think that, I think every band has some sort of progression and change. And obviously this is a drastic one. But you all have had other changes that were pretty
Oh, yeah.
drastic, because probably many don't know, but you all started as White Noise.
Mhm.
And the two lead singers was you and your best friend Serge. And that was a huge change, because Serge has this personality of being very how do you call, picture pretty, how is that, if that's the right word, very, he's good to the camera, good looking, clean cut.
Jesus.
He
I
left
mean, he
him.
is no, but he clean cut.
He
Girls
left and
like
left the
him,
ugly
and-
ducklings, man.
and,
is what
and he left the ugly, exactly right. Kind of like a bald guy here with red.
Bro, getting
beard.
roasted by my mom.
And then Kenny never brushed his hair, and the shirts with a plaid. So, and that was a big change. And yes, it was early, and you all probably adapted a lot quicker. But that was a big change, because Serge was like that, pretty face. Like, okay, he's bringing all these girls to look at you guys.
No.
And then, yeah, he did. And then,
No.
and then you also had changes with a bass player, and you had won some
Battle
competitions,
Dance. Mhm.
right? And then that also went away. And it's, I think that
Well, that was our decision.
that
though.
was your decision.
Yeah.
Okay, but
It's
still,
different where
The-
I get what you're saying. I guess that's another thing too, right? It's like, you're right. We've done it before. It shouldn't be that hard to continue. But the other thing you got to think about as well is like, it's like now we have to do it again. And
Right.
That's another, it's just like another hurdle to
well,
have to go through.
every time that there's an opportunity for a new beginning, gives you an opportunity to start fresh. How many times in life can you start a new beginning and start fresh and reinvent yourself?
For sure.
I mean, that hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
In a profession, right? In a profession that you getting paid to pay bills, and it's so hard to reinvent yourself. And here, you speak here. Many of you are musicians, and you put your heart and soul into this. And obviously, a lot of it's you get rewarded by the music you create, but you're not getting rewarded by the money you make. I mean, hardly.
No.
And right, so it's such an art, it's such a dedication, and it's a beautiful thing. What a great thing for you guys that are young to be able to make a decision. Hey, I'm gonna do what I want to do and what I like to do. But it takes hard work. Most of you listeners have a job, a real job, right? But so it takes a special kind of person to do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we can all have jobs, but one thing is to have a job and then to also have a hobby and then to have your passion. And honestly, it's hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hard.
It's
very,
tough.
but very rewarding. I think you guys have enjoyed and really,
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
Yeah, especially, and I think to literally, like, you know, to try and express how, again, like, why it's sad is because these past few years have been really awesome. You know, like, especially like going on tour together and stuff. I mean, I gotta say, like, some of my favorite times have been on tour with you four, and it was like it's like a family. We're like a family together. I mean, there's no, you know, it's hard. I feel like it's hard to find a band where you mesh well personality wise, right? Musically, we're on point with that together, but then literally the fact that we're not trying to kill each other by the end of a week, I mean, that says a lot about us as and I gotta say, like, when we're on tour together,
I think it's all the beer and weed you also have.
No.
It helps.
That's really what helps.
But
no,
but yeah, no, getting along is like actually getting along is
I
key.
know.
Is
I
key.
know.
And now we have to hope that the next person. Usually, it's like you get one thing or the other. Either you click musically, and then they're a douchebag, or you know.
which Kenny was a douchebag. Don't get me wrong.
He was.
But he was our douchebag.
There you go.
That douchebag.
But no, I mean, like, seriously, we got along really well as a band, and we did everything together. I mean, literally everything. Nobody was like doing their own thing at any point. You know, anytime we thought of going to do something, everybody would be like, yeah, let's go, all together. You know, and we all we had a very democratic way of choosing what we were gonna do. It'd just be like, so what do you guys want to do? And then we would all go do that thing together. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been on tour with bands where there's one guy that just goes away and kind of does his own thing for a few hours. Like, we didn't have that. Like, we were always together, always. So,
well, now you hopefully will be able to pick someone that can follow that, because the personality, the culture, that essence is going to continue, because the three of you that are here will continue that. So I think you're gonna attract up another person that is gonna really work well under that. Because who doesn't want to work under an environment like that? That is collaborative, that is fun, that is creative. So you'll see. I think you guys, you'll be surprised. You know.
Yeah, hopefully a good surprise.
Yeah. It takes time, you know. It won't be overnight. But
Yeah.
you know,
Right now being in limbo is, I think, for me personally at least, the hardest part about all of this is, you know, not knowing what exactly is going to happen, because I'm just kind of like that. I'm a planner. But I feel like once the person is working with us and we're making music with that person and we see that they're, you know, dedicated, I think that it'll be a lot better, you know.
yeah,
And start rolling out some more music and stuff.
yeah. But yeah, we wish Kenny the best, and I was actually gonna. I was just remembering, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be great to hear from you guys. You want to leave him a message here, you know, on the.
Just leave a good fuck you in the comments.
Yeah. There you go. You know, because I am sure he's gonna watch his podcast.
I doubt
it. He's definitely.
He won't.
I doubt it.
Well, his family will. Possibly.
Maybe
his family.
You know.
Before Kenny, I'd put money that his family would listen to this.
Because we are gonna miss Connie and what's her husband's name?
Antonio.
Oh my God,
Antonio.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Great people, sweet people. Yeah, and been there from the beginning, like me. And,
Yep, been
you know.
very supportive the whole
Very
time.
supportive, yeah.
And I don't even know if he's told them, to be honest.
Probably not.
I wouldn't be
Probably
surprised.
That'd be hilarious if they
how
found out.
If this is how you found out, call your son. Okay, get him straight.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But are you have you mentioned anything about this new opportunity at with the studio, or you haven't?
We're going to.
Yeah, so we already have. Well, we're gonna do it right now, technically, but we've already had. We've already reached out to a few people, and they've said yes, so that's good. But
yeah, but I mean, so everybody knows on this podcast what's going
that's what
on.
I'm saying.
We're going to. Yeah. But
so-
before we do that,
okay.
yeah, the new music. Do we want to talk about that? How it sounds? What we're
I mean,
where we are?
No, we can just honestly, it's different. We're going in a different direction. I mean, it's really, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's just gravitated more towards like electronic, you could say. I mean, not necessarily like EDM or anything like that, but it's just more. It's we just use more electronic samples or beats or whatever.
We got new toys. We got drum pad. We have.
Oh my
we
God,
have
they
all
got so
sorts of
many
stuff.
toys.
So the stuff that we, as they were writing, it was just interesting too, because as we were writing, we knew we had this new doohickey. So it kind of like
Doohickey.
we were we were already thinking like, this part of the song could use a pad, the rest of the song can be a drum set and stuff like that. So and as a drummer, it's just interesting because it opens up a lot of
They're gonna need
possibilities.
2 bands just to carry the freaking equipment.
One
in
for
a
just
year.
equipment, one for us.
Not anymore. There's only 3 of us, so we just reduced our fucking
Now
our
we can
load
bring
by a guy.
Now we can bring our merch person with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold the camera and sell our stuff. Go.
Yep.
If you are interested, leave your resume in the comments, and we'll reach out.
I think the main thing to express is that the new music it sounds better, like quality wise, like the actual recording quality, because we've put a little bit more money into that. And for example, the interface that we're using currently is a new interface that we purchased in order to have more channels for drumming and stuff like that to record drums. So we've been messing around with different techniques of recording the drums, and I feel like we're getting a better sound. We might still end up recording drums in a studio, but in terms of what the kind of sounds that we're getting right now, I think it's a lot better than what you've heard on the album, if you've listened to the album at all. In terms of songwriting,
well, you haven't listened to the album. Shame on you, by the way.
Tell them,
Mom. But
I'm actually using a different drum set as well.
That's right, a better sounding
A better
drum set.
drum set.
Yeah.
Off the bat, so that was key, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, the quality is gonna sound better. The songwriting is definitely different, but it's still, that's the thing, it's still us, so it still sounds like House of I music. I think if I were to say anything, I think there's more of an 80s influence in some of the new stuff. There's a lot more synthesizers, and I guess that's kind of like, you could say that the electronic stuff is kind of also being influenced by that kind of stuff as well. So that's what I'll say. But yeah, that's basically it for that. I mean, the other news that we have is that we're planning on turning our mother-in-law suite into a studio for practicing to do this, for example, to do the podcast and to host. We're turning it into a practice space as well for bands to
and
practice
a green
there.
room. And a green room.
A green room.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's gonna
for
be
podcasting. You mean?
No,
for video.
video
Yeah, for video.
recording. So
Yeah,
that
possibly.
you
Yeah.
could rent a space and do your own thing.
she's doing advertisement for us.
Well, they are here getting equipment to
Yeah.
set up that studio, so that's exciting.
Yeah,
That's very exciting.
It's going to be
you
a
know?
space to create. I think that's the best way I can put it. I mean, the
I like
idea,
that.
the idea is to eventually get it to a point where we can literally record bands, along with the practice stuff happening. Photo shoots can be done there because we, like she's saying, if we have a green screen, we have lights now. I mean, literally the space is just going to be there to be used for that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting. It'll be nice to empty out
And I'll
our
get
house.
a full room. I'll finally get a full room to myself in the main house for when I come to visit. Because right now I have to squeeze myself. Actually, I don't squeeze myself. I'll sleep on the sofa.
Yeah, that's
because there's no space on that second
in that
room.
room. Yeah.
That's the only reason why she's on board with us doing this. Is that
Absolutely.
she can have her own room when she comes to stay with
We
us.
called her with the idea, and she goes, "Yeah, thank goodness, I get that room." Right?
I
And
get
then
that
I will
room.
contribute any money you need to get this
I'll
done.
pay for everything. Just give me that room.
Get all that equipment out of the house.
It's a lot of equipment in that
please.
room.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it. It's 2 drum sets. It's 2 keyboard. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but so that'll be nice to have, and it'll be a little extra income as well for us and whatnot. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And then honestly, besides that, it's just now we just recorded some live sessions, which stay tuned for that. These unfortunately will be the last time. I at the time we didn't know this, but it was the last time that we ended up performing with Kenny. So, it puts a little
You're
bit.
gonna be releasing that.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more significance on what that is for us and whatnot. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and that should be coming out within the next month, I think. And then basically some singles. And I mean, really, once things slow down with the COVID and it's actually like possible to go perform, that's when we'll kind of reevaluate and start doing that thing. But as of right now, it's really just music and doing this, to be honest. Kind of once we have more things solidified musically, we can actually start having guests back on and stuff like that. And personally, I would prefer to have that space done before we start bringing people over again.
That makes sense.
But
oh my God, the House of I Presents, it's going to look so much nicer now. It's going to be done in a nice little area. It's going to be great.
I do miss that. I miss going to shows mainly. I mean, that's actually been like something that I've been thinking about a lot, is just going out to see my friends perform and or seeing new bands play. I really miss doing that. It's been kind of tough not to, because I mean, in a weird way, you almost feel like even if you're doing things, you almost feel like nothing, like you're not achieving anything. It's hard. And when we were going out and supporting our friends and whatnot, you'd either be networking with other people or you'd be seeing other bands that you like. Obviously supporting your friends, which is great. And we had a really cool thing happening, and I saw it in the moment. I remember, I remember as we were doing it, I remember thinking like we have a pretty dope scene happening right now here in Tampa. So hopefully things start getting back to normal once things are, I guess when it's the right time, right? We don't want to.
Are any of those spaces open of the?
Yeah,
the
there's
venues?
some, but they're also going through some trouble as well, because they're not doing it to the, I guess, to the standard that it should be, or whatever the city is setting for it. So there's some controversy happening around that. Like I know, for example, the Pegasus Lounge had their alcohol license revoked. And I think they're fighting that currently. And I honestly have no opinion on it because I wasn't there. I have no idea what's going on. But if they were obviously doing something.
What about the green place? That green place?
Oh, Green Bench? So that's a
that
brewery.
open? Right.
And even before this happened, they were slowing down music events there. So.
Oh, okay.
But that was a fun place to play at. Shout out to Sarah Love, who's been on this podcast. Ew.
She has. We recorded at Green Bench, actually.
That's right, in the brewery.
That was a wild night.
But that was cool.
Wow.
That was fun. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, we really don't have to go much longer than now. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about music wise.
I think we, just keeping our head low and finishing these songs is step number 1. Obviously the intention is to add another member to this band because,
so you guys are gonna do auditions or anything like that?
We
What
don't
are you
know yet.
thinking?
We have we're not sure yet. Just
We have people in mind already.
Yeah. How we want to
Okay.
do these songs live is just it's gonna require a 4th person, so that's kind of the main thing. So we're really just focus on releasing this stuff, and then once the COVID stuff slows down is when we can really think about even getting together with people.
So when we should expect to hear something new?
I would say we're in August right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So probably by the end of next month, I think we should have
Awesome.
something out. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe a little bit sooner.
Maybe
knows?
sooner.
We need new stuff with all this COVID thing, you know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, no, that's the other thing too. Is like you look at how long ago the album was released. I think it was about 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
not really a good. We're not really doing the modern thing today, where you release at least once every few months or something, at least a single or a song. So we didn't really do a good job of that. But a positive to having Kenny not be part of this anymore is that we don't have to wait for him to do that, because that was a big thing, and he said he'll admit that himself.
Yeah.
That we were waiting for him to do these kind of things, so now we don't have to worry about that. We can just kind of go and record and release it as we want. So that's a positive, I will say.
Okay.
But and then I guess to wrap it up, it'd be kind of nice to kind of talk, maybe some memories that we have with with Kenny to end on a positive here. But there was one that I specifically remember was actually being a bad influence on Kenny when we were, I think, in either high school or middle school. I think
You guys didn't go to high school together, no?
No, but we were obviously still hanging out.
Because it didn't happen in school.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what story you were about to say, but I would agree with you not saying the story I was thinking about.
I want to hear that story now.
I can tell you later.
I was thinking about the story of the first time I got Kenny drunk. Is that what you were
Yeah.
talking
No,
about?
no, that
Okay.
wasn't it.
So that was hilarious. So Kenny hadn't really done anything before he met me, and
Not surprised.
I was a bad influence
Sorry,
on him.
Connie.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way, but really he was that one.
No, I was the bad influence. But just this one specific night that I remember was we were going to watch Star Trek, that movie, and man, we got drunk, right?
You were like 14.
I don't remember when that movie came out. I was probably a little older than that, but maybe
I gotta
not.
Look it up.
But she's gonna
What year did Star Trek come out? Hold on.
But anyways, so we got drunk before, and I think it was just funny to see him like kind of be like that for the first time, because we were just so silly. We were just like making the most lewd jokes in the theater. People were like looking around like, what the fuck are these? Like, now I totally understand as an adult, like if I
How
see
annoying you guys were?
Yeah, how annoying we were. We were just laughing at like nothing. We were laughing at like really sad moments in the movie. We were just making really bad jokes.
2013. 7 years
Okay,
ago.
so I was
Really?
No.
He wasn't in his 20s.
That's not 20s. That's like 17 or 8.
No,
16.
7 years. How old are you right now?
I'm 27.
So 7 years ago? Star Trek? Are you sure it was Star Trek?
Yeah, it was Star Trek for sure.
There is Star Trek Into the Darkness.
It was the first one. It was the first one that came out.
Anywho, so you guys ended up really drunk at the theater.
Yeah, with his sister. I don't think you were there, right? You weren't
No,
there for that, right?
no.
Yeah, so
You
it
see,
was
I
me,
was not part of that,
Me,
Layla.
Kenny, and his sister Allie.
Did we know each other then?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. But the
Oh,
point
so then
was,
you were really young if you didn't know her.
well, I don't know if that's true. She's just putting out. That's just putting out fake news.
I doubt it. It was
Putting out false information out here. We don't even know what's going
You
on.
were
could have
probably
just met. We could have just met.
17 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 16.
Maybe. But yeah, and Allie was like trying to calm us down. She's like, guys, you guys are being too loud. Like, you gotta stop. And we were just like not having it. We just kept on laughing. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that was a funny moment. And then playing wise, I'm trying to think.
Well,
Actually, do you remember? Okay.
I have one.
Go for it.
So this one time we were hanging out. I don't know if you were in your own car. Maybe that's why Kenny and I ended up alone. But we're like sitting there and we had just like smoked a shit ton of weed, right? And so we're laying there, right? And we start listening to Jimi Hendrix, and it just blows our freaking minds, man. Let me tell you. And like we just started laughing. We were just laughing. I remember it was a guitar solo. I don't remember the song, but I remember it was during a solo that we were just like, holy shit, right? And we just started laughing our asses off for no reason. It was a song we had heard a million times. Good times. I'll never forget that.
All our stories revolve around doing drugs.
Sounds like it.
Damn it, I had one.
You said playing wise.
Yeah, okay, so so one time I don't remember how we got this gig, but we played at a talent show in Fort Lauderdale, and it was like we were really young at the time, and I don't even remember if we had a bass player. I think it was just us three.
It might have, and we won it.
No,
It's
it
not that
wasn't
one.
a competition or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But I just remember, so it was super strange because it was like a banquet hall. So like, you know, there was a bunch of parents sitting in the crowd, and I don't even think you guys were there because it was far away. It was like 45 minutes away. I think
Layla was like, "Fuck that shit."
But I just remember we set up and everyone's sitting down, and I think they were even eating and stuff, and just, you know, it's super quiet. Everyone's kind of like watching you set up and staring at you. It's very awkward. And we're setting up to play, and Kenny's amp isn't working. So we're we're freaking out, like, holy shit. And it was like one of the first times I remember having to talk to the crowd. And I remember, I think what I tried to like bring up to kind of like break the ice was like the Miami Dolphins, like talking football with the crowd, like, and we're in Fort Lauderdale, mind you, which I'm sure there's a ton of Dolphin fans there. But it was just so funny because everyone was just staring at me, and I think I was getting some chuckles out of like kindness of their hearts to kind of help.
Well, the thing is, I don't understand why you would bring something up so hurtful to the South Floridian population, like the Miami
Maybe
Dolphins.
I was talking shit about them too, like, hey, how about them Dolphins?
Am I right?
Suck. Am I right? But I just remember that being such an awkward moment. Like,
I was in the band already, or no?
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Band,
I don't remember that at all.
Yep, because we have the trophy still.
Oh, that's right, the plantation thing.
Plantation,
it's in the city of Plantation, and then that's how we got the other gig.
Yeah, the one
where we ended up
on
the float.
Yeah, yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, so that was crazy, man. And Kenny was just like, fucking, I think it was something so like stupid too, like a cable or something wasn't plugged in properly.
Sounds about right.
Kenny was known for doing that.
Kenny has this tendency of not plugging in his guitar to the amp and then be like, why isn't this working? So
well, you see, Kenny and I had a little bit of a connection because
you would do that too.
I would do something like that. So, but it would be funny because he would catch me on like saying something kind of silly. And he would look at me like,
I said the same thing just recently.
And then he would do the same thing, and I would be like, I get you.
We're on the same wavelength here, bud.
So
yeah. It's either he would forget to connect his guitar, or he would forget to connect the cable that was connected to his guitar to the amp.
And how many phones has Kenny lost or left behind?
Oh my God, dude.
When he was in college?
He would have to tell us, but I don't think the number exists.
Every single time I would talk to Danny, what's up with Kenny? I don't know. I call him. He doesn't have a phone. I can talk to him.
Yeah.
Every single week, it was a brand new phone or some story about a phone.
Yeah, look, I think he's had his current phone for a while now. But yeah, he would go through phones like crazy. It was insane.
I think he's had all kinds of phones. Flip phone, regular, all kinds of phones.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've definitely gone through some weird shit as a band and stuff together. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, luckily, like nothing dangerous per se. But
oh my God, in the van that he used to drive.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
oh my God, this van. They had,
terrible.
Kenny's family had a van that I guess nobody wanted anymore. So it's the one that these kids were using. And the van, the steering wheel had to be positioned. Like if you're driving to the left, was it to the left?
No,
it was...
because the wheels apparently were misaligned, so like you had to hold
it was definitely
wheel
it was definitely an alignment issue
in a position, and the entire time you cannot let go of the steering wheel because the van will go the other way.
This van also ended up where you would turn the wheel to just turn normally and it would start honking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you would turn it and just be like, beep. The whole time.
Dude.
He would be apologizing the whole time. Yeah. People would get so pissed at us because they would think that we were honking at them and we weren't.
That's so true. I remember that.
It was hilarious.
It was so
how much
funny.
it was
I'm knowing Kenny, like, you know, he gets embarrassed.
Yeah. That's what it is too, is that he's very like, he just doesn't want
attention.
He doesn't want to start any problems, right? So this issue was just like so annoying. Oh my God.
And didn't you guys get robbed that van in downtown?
It was
something
the story I was
like
bring.
what happened there?
But
What's the real story?
Before I bring that up,
there's gotta be a real story.
Before I bring that up, I remember we're going somewhere and we're driving and the van just turns off. Right? The van he's like, oh man, the van turned off. Just like if we're not going 85 on the Palmetto, he's like, fuck, the fucking van. He would turn the key, he'd put it in park, he'd turn it back on.
No, put it in neutral.
In neutral. And then he would turn it back on, and then he would just keep driving, man. Like that shit.
Yeah, he was used to it.
I mean, it was just crazy how he didn't die in this van. It was a booby
van
trap.
was
It was a booby trap. The back wouldn't lock at a
There
point.
was no AC.
No AC. I mean, that's, oh my God. That was crazy. So we go to see a show because I think you couldn't, I think you had to get up early the next day, so you couldn't go. And this venue would run late.
Yeah.
So I go with him, and
you were not there?
no. I take the one valuable thing in this freaking car, and I grab this iPod, the brick one, old school one, and I put it in the glove compartment. I close the glove compartment, and we leave. We go, we watch the show, whatever. We go to leave. Someone had to throw a rock through the passenger side window and freaking took the freaking iPod too. There was literally nothing else in this van. The van wouldn't lock, so we wouldn't keep anything in there. You would take everything, phone, any valuables. But it was just this one thing. I put it in the glove compartment. They took it. We had to drive back. I was sitting on glass the whole time because we got some of it off, but it was still full of glass and stuff. That was crazy. There was a BMW in front of this van. Of course, they didn't go for the BMW. They go for this van. It was crazy. They could have just opened the back. They didn't need to break the window.
That's Miami, baby. That's why I don't like living here.
Same venue we got offered coke at.
Yep. As a 15-year-old getting offered cocaine. Pretty cool, man. And I took it. No.
That's so terrible. He didn't, Layla.
Thank
I
God.
promise you I
didn't.
didn't. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Thank you for joining us, Mom. And again, good luck to you, Kenny. If you ever listen to this, I doubt you will. But
Absolutely.
We love you, buddy. And guys, thanks for listening. Let us know what you think. And stay tuned for new music and more podcasts.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.